Standing your ground, standing in your truth means knowing what you need, knowing what you want based on who you truly are, and communicating this to yourself and the world clearly. Welcome everybody to our energy update week 28. That is for the 3rd to the 9th of July 2021. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy coach and energy therapist, and I am guiding you through these days from the energetic perspective. So this is the beginning of July, and as you will hear in the June update and the June forecast that will be published tonight, this is a very challenging time for all of us collectively because the energies are building very strongly, and there is lots of confusion, lots of indecision worldwide, and this will lead sort of to a domino here in the course of July, this first week being sort of the first set of domino stones being pushed into motion. And the way this happens is in an explosive way, in a shocking, sort of almost hard to understand way. It feels like accidents are in the air, but something that will impact us globally. So I want you guys to be prepared for this, because as energetically sensitives, you are picking up on all these things way ahead of time. And the biggest complaint that I am hearing from you guys all over the world is that you are in this constant state of anxiousness, this constant state of cognitive dissonance, not knowing what to plan, not knowing sort of where to go, feeling that there is something big about to happen. And this is something that I report about a lot in the workshops and these daily sacred self energy meditations that we do every day for more than a year now, that messes with our perception and also sort of our bodily sensations. So it has a pretty severe impact on our nervous system, and therefore makes it kind of difficult for us to respond to the things that we perceive, to our reality, in a way that it can reflect our authentic self, our authentic needs, our authentic wants or goals, because a part of our energy system is constantly occupied by something intangible, by something in the invisible. And as energy coach, this is basically my job, to help people bring clarity into these times and these events that are so difficult to verify, so difficult to connect with, because we're not quite sure whether what it is that we're feeling from within, whether this is sort of a programmed, hardwired kind of reaction, or whether this is our ego speaking, or whether this is actually coming from our heart, from our true inner guidance. So with this week here in week 28, it's very important that we train ourselves to go into a state of fearlessness. All right, so don't take this as sort of the next pending doom. Take this as, okay, I accept that there are a lot of things in the unseen, okay? And those are not in my control. It's like a weather condition. So, if you have severe weather stuff going on in your area, and I know a lot of you do, whether it's extreme heat or extreme drought or extreme storms, those aren't things that you can control. So this isn't something that you need to take as a get prepared, prepare for the worst. No, it is like, okay, there's things going on right now here in our collective, on our planet, that are indicating that there's a lot of change, a lot of transition going on. And you know how this is, guys. You know how this is when you move from one place to another, or when you change jobs, or when you break up with a relationship or start a new one. This is a time of context change, and it affects your whole entire way of looking at yourself and the world. And even if it's exciting, yeah, even if it's something to look forward to, which is really difficult for most of you because it is in this intangible realm, you don't quite know, it makes no sense, so you don't really know what to make sense of or what to look forward to. But even if you can make sense of it, it can still be challenging. And this is the part that I want to point out for you here. All right, it's not really conducive for your energy, for your body, for your emotions, and for your mental processing, trying to anticipate what you cannot control. All right, this is basically a waste of energy. Okay, it is way more important to focus on what is, to evaluate how you are standing with what is, what your stance is. And this is something that needs to be felt from within. You have to be willing to focus on what certain things feel like to you, how they interact with your needs, with your wants, and with who you are. And so in this time right now, regardless of what is coming in here, out of the invisible into the visible, yeah, this revelation that we are experiencing here in July. But regardless, independent of this, this is a time where you need to fully anchor yourself in your own center, in your own home. You need to know, I don't necessarily mean your 3D home, but that also plays a role in this process. But when I talk about anchoring, I mean the you, the authentic you that you are. So anchoring is a step above just being aware. Anchoring is kind of the conversion from just realizing things and having insights uh, into the 3D, into the manifest. And this happens on this daily level with the simple things in life, the way we approach things, the way we communicate things, the way we respond to things, the way we care for ourselves, the way we care for the world. And this is my energy tip here for this next week. Anchor yourself, know what your stance is, and be very clear in communicating what it is that you need, what it is that you want, yeah, and be fearless about this confrontational momentum that comes out of this, because you have to stand your ground, yeah, walk the talk, okay, and let the world work with you. Stop trying to work with the world. The world is going to go on without you, but you are here. You are here now. And your world, your reality needs to interact with you. And this is what you need to anchor. So anchoring means consciously walking yourself through the process of feeling your true essence, your true being in your reality, and then expressing it accordingly. Standing your ground, standing in your truth, really means knowing what you need, knowing what you want based on who you truly are, and communicating this to yourself and the world clearly. So these are my tips here for you for this next week. The opportunities that come out of dealing with this and going into this, well, it's not really a confrontation, it's more like a coming out, but in a way that you may have avoided in the past, yeah, where you really have to say it out loud, where you have to stand for your truth. Yeah, because if you're not standing for anything, you'll be swept away. You'll believe in anything. Okay? So this isn't the time for blind faith, yeah, for fake positivity, for relapsing into your old coping ways or avoiding ways. This isn't the time to hunker down. This is the time for you to really come out of your woodwork, all right, and inform your world, your reality, the people that you love, the people that you work with, the people that you're with, about what it is that you need, what it is that you want. Yeah, literally what your intentions are, what your purpose is, based on who you are. And I know this all sounds like a bunch of words with no meaning when you're going through personal challenges. And we'll have the opportunity to talk about this here in a minute. And then we're going to go into the energy meditation in this deeper state of consciousness where we want to experience this from within. Because I know, as someone who is teaching this and trying to motivate and encourage and empower people to stand for themselves, I know that I can talk all day long. This is something that you need to verify from within yourself. And this is why we do these energy meditations. Those are energy processes that are aligned to the times that we are going through. And they help you to experience all these things that I am talking about and to translate them for yourself. Okay, so in simple words, guys, keep going, be fearless, pay attention to your energy management. Don't waste your time on things that you can't control anyways. And one big energy tip for all of you energetically sensitives and empaths: keep things simple. Don't think too complicated. When I talk about what you truly need, what you truly want, I'm talking about very simple things. Yeah, I'm talking about, I need a certain amount of time for transition. I need a certain amount of space for self-care, for self-experience. I need a certain amount of resources to provide safety for me. I need a certain type of interaction, a certain type of connection to feel that I belong, to feel that I am here. Okay, so these are things that are very practical. And if you make this subject to some kind of fancy energy work processes where you have to like literally think about what you're going to do next, you've already missed the point. Yeah, so this is all about harmonizing with these context changes that are happening in all our lives right now, to not go into resistance with them, and to not just be a pushover either, to find the balance here. And you will hear me say this month over and over again. It really is about this stance where you can full-heartedly say, look, this is what I need, this is what I want, because this is who I am. And if it helps you, practice saying it out loud. Hear yourself say this and tune into your own energy as you're saying this. Yeah, and variations of this theme could be something like, I'm choosing this, I'm doing this, I need this, I want this, because it feels true to me. And maybe you can feel the energy when I say this, because this is not fantastical thinking. This isn't, I do this or I want this because I think it's a sign that I need to do this. No, this is externalized. Your power is not anchored in yourself. Or I do this because this is the way of least resistance, or this is what my partner wants, or this is what is expected of me, or this is how other people see me or how I think I need to be. That too is externalized. Yeah, so you can lose that power to make a stance and to stand in your own truth through not being totally aware of what you are referring to, what you are aligning yourselves to. And these are all energy jargon words here. It's really quite simple. Keep things simple and clear. Clarity is the theme of the month of July. Whenever you need to guess, whenever you need to fill in the gaps, whenever you need to interpret or assume, or, kind of have to be a mind reader, that is the opposite of clarity. That is not conducive for you. So if you are in a situation where you have to, where you think you have to be a mind reader, or where you have to guess, or where you always feel like there was a secret agenda, stand up and say, I'm confused. Can you help me to understand this? Can you help me to clarify this? Can you explain to me how you're truly meaning this? And so forth. Those are very typical energy coaching tips. Yeah, and I hope they help you to work with these really explosive energies here over this 4th of July weekend. I wish you, nonetheless, a wonderful celebration, maybe a gathering if you are in the United States. But stay conscious, pay attention. This is not the time to check out. Yeah, so guys, how is all this resonating for you here present with this live energy meditation and energy talk? What is coming up for you when you listen to my words? Can you relate to it? Some of you've commented here. Yeah, makes sense. Yes. Yeah, Becky is sharing she can relate, and she really feels that she needs to make a stance with her own critical inner voice, this own sort of inner critic that keeps on bombarding us with, all this judgment and negativity. Yeah, that's exactly true. That's exactly right, Becky. It really sometimes is about learning how to take a stance against those inner voices that were implanted or programmed into us. Linda's sharing.
It's
Yeah,
Cheryl.
Hi,
Oh,
Cheryl.
sorry. Hi, from Canada, and we celebrated Canada's birthday yesterday. So there's
Congratulations.
interesting energies in the air as the U.S. approaches their birthday anniversary as well. I'm feeling like a purge is coming, like an eruption sort of purge. There's excitement's not the right word, but there's like this. Yeah, purge is the only word that can come. Something's coming out, and for me, it needs to move, need to move through it, like physically move. Being stagnant is not a good thing right now. So that's what I'm feeling in my body. It just says something's coming out.
You know, I understand when you, or understood when you said excitement of some sorts. It's kind of like wanting relief, right? I mean, obviously it's not exciting. Purges are not exciting events in our life, but afterwards it kind of feels good because we feel like we're going pregnant with something. We're carrying a heavy load around with us. And Cheryl, you're not the only one, and anybody listening, anybody watching this here, I want you to know that this is a collective phenomenon, especially around amongst energetically sensitives. Okay, so yes, there is sort of this need, yeah, to move forward now, to go into resolution. And the problem with this, Cheryl, and all of you listening to this, is that it's not going to happen like that. There's no shortcut. This will happen in several stages, okay? And it's still building. That's why I used the analogy of domino effect or domino stones, okay? It will happen sort of, yeah, I guess in waves, all right? Where something comes up and then it shocks or stuns everybody, and then we need a few days for emotional processing, and there will be emotional sort of reactivity all over the place. But then it will come down for a few days again, it will build again, and then there is another purge. And interestingly enough, when I analyzed the days here of this month, it was always the weekends where this purge is occurring. Okay, so be patient here, guys. There's time in between to process. And that's why it's so important not to check out, but to be present. Recognize that what it is that needs to be let go of, or what it is that needs to be expressed. I hope this helps, Cheryl, but I know exactly what that's like, what you're describing. Yeah, some of you have had a week-long purge last week. Yes, so I forecasted this to be a calmer week and a week where we can connect within more. I'm sorry to hear that for you, Justina, this turned out a bit of a purge, but you know, the calm doesn't always mean good or bad. It just means that we can internalize things more, and sometimes, and this happens especially if we have been checking out for too long and we return back into reality through this internalization, that we get this like huge sort of smack in the face. And that can then force us to purge or force us to release or let go. You like the words, keep it simple. Yes, it is very simple from an energetic perspective. It's really all about staying in your own energy, in your own self, with your body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Yeah, and work it. Be fully present in the here and now. And it is sharing a lot of old stuff is coming up. Even in my dreams, old friends and so forth. Yes, it feels energy consuming. It's only energy consuming, Annette, if you allow yourself to get stuck in the rear mirror. Yeah. So those of us who have a tendency to get pulled back into the past, you'll have a little hard time here in July, because July comes with that attachment to the past, to childhood and so forth, to lost opportunities, lost hopes and dreams. And if our coping mechanism in the past was to pull those dreams and hopes back up, to soothe ourselves, then July is going to be rough for you, because emotionally you're not going to feel an anchor there. So I predicted that July is going to be a lot more emotional in general in that way. Yeah, so see, this is the other side of the purge, Justina. When you let things go, even if it's in a forced way, it kind of gives you the feeling that things were accomplished. You got something out of the way. And yes, it can feel a little bit empty. And this is exactly the moment where you have to be careful, because from an energy healer, energy therapist point of view, this is exactly the moment where people start pulling the past back in. Okay, so yes, when you stay present and you pay attention to this, then you can sort of weed it out. Literally, you can literally take the thoughts and say, nope, that's not moving me forward. Nope, that's pulling me back. Nope, I cannot control that. Yeah, to weed these things out bit by bit. Whatever goes on in the collective is something like weather that we cannot control. So it should be one of the things that we need to weed out. Okay, so the danger is always in the anticipation, or in the mind reading, or in the assuming. That's where our darkness lies, because that triggers our core fear of existence. Yeah, as soon as you let that fear go, you become able to stand in truth. Yes, Charlie's feeling a weird mixture where inner voices have given up to argue. Okay, so this is a good tendency. On one hand, exhausted, on the other, relieved. Yes, this is a little bit what Justina was referring to. The purge, the eruption has already gone through. This is because you guys are energetically sensitives. So this is the part that you need to understand. Yet you go through things in an energetic way ahead of time. And if we have no way to make sense of it, if we have no way to contextualize it, it kind of paralyzes us a little bit. Yeah. When you get to this place where you are willing to work with truth and energies at all times, you actually begin to see how these are forebringers, forecursors. It's sort of a natural precognition that we all have, that our psyche, yeah, and our energy field picks up on before our five senses, if you will. And this is nothing that needs to worry you, because quite frankly, it's a fantastic tool that we have if we learn how to use it right. If we train it, we have to discipline it. It's with so many of these wonderful skills that we have as humans, we need to work it right. Yeah, we need to develop the skills that allow us to use our tools in a conducive way. Otherwise, they can be harmful or, counterproductive. Yeah, this sounds all very familiar, what you're sharing here, and it's reflecting literally what people are reporting to me here in my practice every day. So stay on it, guys. Keep moving forward, all right? And the way you move forward is not by producing some kind of fantasies or visions for the future. You're going to run into your critical inner voice, into your cognitive dissonances if you do that. The way to move forward for you is to strengthen your stance. Yeah, to really stand in the now, in the here, what you need, what you want, who you are. And I know for many of you, there's something you've never tried. You've never even given yourself permission to need anything, not to mention to want anything. Let the world, okay, work with you, yeah? But for the world to be able to work with you, you're going to have to put your stake in. Okay? Otherwise, the world doesn't know you there. And that is because if you're not doing this consciously, you probably aren't there. You're just halfway there. Okay? And this is when these times can become extremely exhausting for us, because we feel this constant overlay coming in from the outside, and feel this as a struggle, as a constant warding off. So let's use this energy now and go into the deeper place with the energy meditation from our 24th step experience sacred self-healing online course. Step 7 is about inventory. It's about exactly what we talked about. So lean back, take a deep breath. I'm turning on the music now and turning myself off. And then we will have a few minutes afterwards to share about our inner experience. Yeah, so in the super deep state, all I remember is talking to my false self and asking what I need to let go of to receive support and encouragement from my true self. Yeah, how are you guys feeling? How did this translate for you here in those 20 minutes? Super deep practicing clarity, taking an inventory, arriving in the here and now. We fell asleep. Yes, I almost did. Oh my God. Yes. That's what happens to us when we cannot fully process it, or when we have only slept 2 hours like I. Yeah, it felt empowering, the energy of it, right? Everything that we just talked about. Yeah, guys, this is the step 7 of the Experience online course. It comes with workbook and exercises as part of a whole course program. I'm wishing you a good weekend. Happy releasing. Yeah, sometimes celebrating and fireworks. All this can also help with release, but it can also lead to not paying attention to too much distraction. Stay present, move forward, and keep it simple. See you next week. Bye-bye.